One.
Hello and welcome to another great episode of the Gridiron Glory podcast between Tad and Will here. We're here to bring you exclusive, great content of all 32 NFL teams. So we're here today to talk to you about the Los Angeles Rams at the Detroit Lions Sunday Night Football Week 1 recap. Honestly, in my opinion, probably the best game of the Week 1 slate. And I mean, that's not to go against necessarily Packers, Eagles, or Ravens, Chiefs. The primetime games really showed out, kind of except for Monday Night Football, which you can check on that in our library. But yeah, Rams and Lions. My opinion, the best game on the slate. So let's get into it. You had you have a game in which this is probably starting to really develop into a true strong NFC rivalry here, and especially probably a playoff rivalry. But now you're starting to get prolific regular season matches here. And this one was no different. Matthew Stafford, he goes into this. I mean, he goes in. I literally was watching the receiver documentary in the off season, and I remember a specific take where the Lions and the Rams were playing each other, and and because they were following Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I believe that they were playing the Rams, and I heard on an audio clip Matthew Stafford say, in his team huddle, hey, this used to be my house for several years. I'm gonna go in there and still show them that this is still my house. And so every time Matthew Stafford goes into that place, he has that mentality. He's like, I'm gonna go in there and ball out because like this is still my house. Like Ford Field is still my house because for several years it was. And so he went in there once again under the Sunday night lights and really showed like, hey, I'm not afraid of this. I'm not afraid of coming in here being the villain in what used to be my house for several years. 34 39, 34 49, 317 yards, a touchdown, an interception. He did get sacked a couple of times there. And then Jared Goff, 18 of 28, 217, touchdown and a pick. So honestly, pretty even showings from the quarterbacks. The biggest thing that probably stood out to me in this game was Jameson Williams. Not super flashy on that stat line, at least as far as the rushing stat line goes, but the receiving stat line speaks for itself. What is your take on Jameson Williams?
Yeah, I'd like to speak some on Jameson Williams. He's a guy out of the University of Alabama that's been trying to establish his NFL career. He's had several setbacks. Some of you may remember the injury in the national championship game against Georgia in his final collegiate game where he completely messed up his knee and he missed significant time his rookie year. He never really had a chance to get established that season, so he missed out on that rep time. Then his second year, he was suspended early in the season for gambling, so he missed some time there as well. And now he's just looking to basically get a firm start on establishing himself as an NFL quality receiver. And I mean, this game was definitely a positive start to that season for Jameson Williams. 5 catches, 121 yards, a touchdown. He's a speedster. He's a guy that when he gets open, you're not going to catch him. I mean, he's a guy you don't want to be chasing him because you're going to be left in the dust. I mean, just another weapon in this offense that has a lot of weapons. He's a guy that could potentially get overlooked if the team they're facing tends to focus on Amon-Ra St. Brown, as the Rams did. They held Amon-Ra to just 3 catches for 13 yards. Or if they want to focus more on tight end Sam Laporta or Jahmyr Gibbs out of the backfield. I mean, Detroit's got plenty of weapons, and if you forget about a guy like Jameson Williams, he can burn you, and he certainly burned the LA Rams.
Yeah, he certainly did. He scorched them on numerous occasions. His speed really showed out. David Montgomery as well. That's also worth noting. Jahmyr Gibbs also went out there and made really big plays. But I don't want to discredit the LA Rams and what the efforts they were able to do to bring this game back into overtime. I mean, they were down going into the fourth quarter, and they go out there and they come back and they get the game tying field goal to make it 20-20 to send it into overtime late in the game. I don't want to take away from the beautiful resiliency that the LA Rams showed in the fourth quarter. I kind of felt like going into that fourth quarter that that the Lions kind of have this one in the bag a little bit. But the Rams just, again, Matthew Stafford was like, hey, this is my house. I'm going to go in here and keep showing you guys how it is my house. And I respect Matthew Stafford. And, I'm just really happy to still see him playing football, even late into his career in the way that he is. So, Kyron Williams is also worth mentioning, 50 yards for a touchdown there. Puka Nacua did go down early in this football game and did suffer a devastating injury. What is your take on the Puka Nacua injury?
Yeah, I mean, definitely a lot of injuries hit the Rams in this week 1 game. You have Puka Nacua now on injury reserve, and they're going to need some other receivers to step up. And it was honestly as promising a start to that as you could see. You got a guy like Tyler Johnson with 5 catches for 79 yards. You got a guy like Demarcus Robinson, 4 catches for 42 yards. Even the tight end, Colby Parkinson in his Rams debut, 4 catches for 47 yards. And what can be said for a guy like Cooper Kupp in his advanced stage of his career? 14 catches, 110 yards, and a touchdown. He went back to the way it was before they drafted Puka, before Cooper Kupp had that massive injury. He looked like a prime version of Cooper Kupp. And can that be sustainable for a full season?
Whoa. Are you saying that Cooper Kupp's not in his prime anymore?
Yes.
Is that what we're saying? Are we saying that Cooper Kupp is 14 catches, 110 yards, a touchdown, 21 targets? I mean, are we saying that Cooper Kupp's not still in his prime?
I mean, last year he was sharing the spotlight with Puka Nacua, and now with Puka injured, they're asking Cooper Kupp to look more like he did when he was at his most productive levels. I mean, that's basically the point I'm going for. And I mean, do I think if they asked Cooper Kupp to be as productive as he was pre-injury, pre-Puka, I think he could still get fairly close, but I mean, they definitely would prefer to split it up and give Puka a chance to get his touches. And like that would just keep both of them more fresh, give them both a chance to stay more healthy. But when the going gets tough, you're gonna put Cooper Kupp out there, and he made several big plays in that fourth quarter when they were coming back, and that's a big reason why they got that field goal drive. I mean, Matthew Stafford, the leader, a very underrated quarterback, I think, even as a veteran. He's a guy that can go out there, put it all on the line. And I mean, I just continued to be impressed by the resiliency of a guy like Matt Stafford, who was hit quite a lot in the game. He was rattled at times. He threw a bad interception early in the red zone, but he bounced back. He played a lot better in the second half, leading the Rams offense to 17 points after halftime. And obviously, unfortunate for him, he didn't have a chance to touch the ball in overtime. The Lions, they win the coin toss. They run the ball right down the field. A big credit to their offensive line led by Sewell and a lot of other high-quality offensive linemen in Detroit. David Montgomery taking a brunt of the carries, including the game-winning touchdown. So I think you got to give a lot of credit to the offensive line for Detroit. They continued to wear down the Rams defense, and in my opinion, that's why they won the football game.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly do believe that Detroit has the best offensive line in the NFL. There's really no question about it. And they proved it once again, like with the veteran leader, Panay Sewell, who, like I said, on that like you had mentioned before on that David, or what was it, the David Montgomery touchdown or the Jahmyr Gibbs touchdown where Sewell had that crucial key block? Do you remember?
I know David Montgomery had the last touchdown.
Yeah, so Penei Sewell got that crucial key block. That kind of was able to make that
I
whole.
think it was the Gibbs touchdown. He had the block on the Gibbs touchdown. The Montgomery touchdown was just right up the middle, and the Gibbs one was the one that was blocked well. I mean, they were both blocked well, but
It's also probably worth noting for Detroit some of their big defensive playmakers. Big
for sure.
shout out to Alex Anzalone. Also, probably realistically, Brian Branch, who had five tackles, a tackle for loss, and multiple pressures. Also, Aiden Hutchinson, who had a sack, a tackle for loss, and 4 quarterback hits. So, I mean, both sides of the football for both teams brought everything that they had, but Detroit just was a little bit better in this one.
Yeah, I would also like to shout out Khalil Dorsey just because he has the same last name as me. He's a cornerback for Detroit who had it looks like he had 1 tackle. So credit to my namesake Khalil Dorsey.
There you have it. Lions Rams. Lions win this one 26-20. Another edition of this great NFC rivalry that's starting to develop. And yeah, thank you for watching another great episode of the Gridiron Glory, where we cover all 32 teams. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow us. And yeah, thank you so much again for watching the Gridiron Glory.